Okay, here we go. So thank you again for joining in, and I hope you will find this webinar useful and as well helpful to create a better future together with your customers. What we're going to do really first is, if you don't mind, I take you through the agenda, and once we've gone through the agenda, then we go through there. At the moment, everybody is muted, but at the end we will have sufficient time for question and answers. So the agenda is relatively straightforward. So obviously, welcome, we've done that. I want to explain a little bit about the company itself, provide you a short product overview. We'll then go into the different business partner types. We'll then talk about the commercials and the offers, the different offers we provide or our business partners are providing to their customer base. Go a little bit through the sales and marketing support, and then subsequently, of course, into the technical support. So who are we? ELO is a privately owned company. We are over 25 years old. The ELO stands for Electronic Lights Organizer, and Lights is actually a company that was founded in 1817 something. So from that perspective, it's on the market for a long, long time. The electronic version is since the mid-90s. We're currently represented in over 17 countries. We have customers in over 45 countries and more than 1 million users worldwide. 600 staff come to the help of more than 600 certified business partners worldwide. Very large customers, Lufthansa, Südzucker, European Air Defense System, which is the mother company of Airbus, and various other governments are counting as our customers. ELO Australia was incorporated in 2005, so we are now in our 16th year. We are a privately owned company, and we cover the Asia Pacific region. We have approximately 100 plus active customers, and we're providing services from within Australia. So we have not outsourced our services. Everything comes from here. Sometimes we have to go back to our headquarters in Germany when it comes to very specific technologies where we need specific specialists to help us. We're a federal, state, and local government supplier. Large customers include the John Holland Group, West Point, La Trobe Community Health Service, and Bayada Poultry, who are the owner, for example, of the Staggles brand. So enough about us. So let's have a look at the software itself. So we are a client server architecture. We have an open architecture, and therefore we have the possibilities to integrate essentially into any third-party applications such as SAP, MS365, SharePoint, Civica, etc., you name it. Because ELO has a familiar look and feel compared to the Microsoft Office world, we are capable of having a very, very quick training course with the users, and those users pretty much will assimilate themselves very quickly, therefore being productive, usually already after 2 hours of training. We have an on-prem or a remote information access capability. That means even if you are working from home, that does not necessarily mean that you will lose your access to the information. So what that means for us and for our customers is really that there's no reason anymore to stay compliant with what they are doing. And as well, there's no reason to delay any processes whatsoever, because our embedded workflow engine will provide everybody the required information whenever they need it and wherever they need it. On the right-hand side, you see just a short list actually of our available modules and solutions. I will come back to that at a later stage. So I just want to show you a little bit the look and feel of the system itself. What we see here is the short client overview. You will notice that it has tiles, it has a center where we talk about collaboration. So that means that you can essentially use ELO as well to collaborate on a level that does not require you to use email or any other form. And just for everybody who just came in a little bit later, we are recording this session. So far at this point in time, you haven't missed a lot, but we are recording it and making everybody who joined in make that recording available. The client as well allows you to not just have the collaboration capabilities, but as well the possibility to see the content of the individual documents in the center of the client. On the right-hand side, you will then see the collaboration. That means you can talk, can discuss documents without the need to sending emails. So that means as well that the audit trail is related to the object, which is hugely important. What you see here is our web client, and as you notice immediately, it is very, very similar to the installed client. We see more and more of our customers using the web client because they're used to it. There is about a 90 to 95% overlap on the functionality between the web client and the installed client. Again, it all starts after the log-on with a collaboration area, which we call My ELO. It can show there, you can do it yourself, your own workflows. It can show you really your task you have to do the moment you log on. Once you click on a document somewhere in the archive, again, the document will be shown in the center, and on the right-hand side, you have the collaboration capabilities. Of course, we have integrations with Microsoft Office. I think today everybody needs to have this. What separates us from some of the other specifically records management system is everything I'm showing you here on the client side is actually embedded and with the client license itself. So that means you don't have to pay anything extra, or your customers doesn't have to pay anything extra, even if they want to have the Microsoft Office integrations. With multiple clients, it reaches from the installed client, the web client, the DMS desktop, which is an embedding the software into the Microsoft Office applications, including but not limited to Outlook. Of course, we have as well an integration into the file system. So that means that ELO could be mirrored like an Explorer. That means that users actually do not really have to change their entire behavior, even if they're using a document or a records management system. Integrations into Microsoft Office is usually when Microsoft Office is installed through macros on top. And there you have the capabilities to transfer documents straight into the repository. You have automated transfer, but as well the capability to search from, for example, Word, the ELO repository. Obviously, it will only return results if you are authorized. Authorization often happens through single sign-on. The moment you log on to your computer, that will be passed on to ELO, and that will define what documents you can see in the system or not. The same obviously is as well for smartphones. Every ELO customer can go just to Play Store, or I don't know exactly what the Apple name for Play Store is, and can just download ELO for mobile devices. and therefore they have access to the documents through their mobile phone. Business Solutions is our big seller, not just at the moment, but for years. Nonetheless, at the moment, of course, with all the changes we have, working from home, having the challenge to access information, our business solution gives customers a relatively fast access to repetitive processes or processes where they just want to go best practice. And here again, for our business partners, we have the capability to land and expand. So we can have, for example, a contract management solution up and running in 5 days. So if somebody is really just looking for a contract management system or wants to automate their invoice processing, we can do this very, very fast. And that allows you as a potential business partner to then subsequently roll out more functionality. Just going through a few of those. So contract management, I mentioned automated invoice processing is hot and everybody kind of like wants to have it, yet there are different ways to implement this. We have found 3 different ways where we can help the customers to have an automated invoice processing without the need, for example, to purchase Kofax or Abby or something like this. We can still automate it through simple clicking. HR personnel file is something really for larger entities where you want to have all your personnel files in one place. Acknowledgement, we ourselves are using it a lot. So when we have discussions, even when we have our team meetings, we can integrate ELO Simple into Microsoft Teams, and therefore we have the possibility, even within Teams, to have the knowledge management features available. E-signatures, I guess everybody needs to have this. We at this point in time have a integration specifically into DocuSign. So every document you have, whichever way you want to do it, whatever document type it is, we have created the interface in a way that can easily go with every document type. Document control, a feature that really is important specifically when it comes to compliance, whether it is in the mining industry or whether that is in government and records management. Document control helps a company or an entity to control everything from inception of the document template to the approval process, and even further getting notification that specific documents need to be reviewed after a period of time. E-forms, the fastest way for everybody to put a document into or information into the document management system. What it is relatively straightforward. There is a browser window, you fill in a few details, click OK, gets ingested into ELO and automatically starts a workflow from the embedded workflow engine. So there's no extra charges or something like this for workflows. It's all part and parcel of the system. Geotag becomes more and more important, of course, because we do not only want to know what happened, but we want to know as well where it happened. Records management, roughly about 40% of our customer base is federal, state, and local governments. In some cases, we sell direct. In some cases, we have as well our business partners implementing it. There as well, we have partners who integrated, for example, ELO with Civica, or we have integrated Civica directly. So that is important. I just mentioned Civica because obviously it is a widely used system for government entities. I think the rest we do at the moment, we are skipping with one thing. I just wanted to show you a little bit the portal integration, because that becomes more and more important. As you know, since this year, Microsoft, SharePoint, and Teams had a huge increase in their sales. And that is simply because they're allowing the online collaboration. For us, we don't see SharePoint necessarily as a full-fledged document or records management system. So what we have created is we've created a smart interface between SharePoint and ELO. While we acknowledge the strengths of SharePoint, Office 365, information management, teamwork, and flexible workspaces, we've created a tool that is a synchronization between the SharePoint part and as well the business process management, the analytics of specific areas. Our system allows working with documents even when you are offline. We have a open architecture. That means we can interface to essentially any third party. Most recently, we have done an integration into a very large SAP implementation. I mentioned Civica, whether it's Dynamics or Dynamics AX, Dynamics Navision, or even Salesforce. So we can do all those things. So let SharePoint do what SharePoint is really good at, and let us do what we are really good at. And then the documents are synchronized so that you know at any point in time, you will always have the latest version of the document. Last but not least, we obviously have secure storage, and secure storage is an addition to the safety and security SharePoint provides you. So just relatively short with SharePoint, it is productivity collaboration, whereas we have a centralized repository for all compliant document control. What that means is we can have documents from SharePoint, but we can have as well documents from the ERP system, and they both go into ELO. Essentially, we are then what is called a slave system, whereas the other systems really are the master system. So users can use SharePoint as a front end without ever opening ELO, and still will be able, for example, to access documents that were coming from the ERP system. Records management, as I said before, is one of our main drivers as well in Australia. For many, many years, we had pretty much a monopoly of or two systems. So it's not really a monopoly, it's an duopoly. In the last 2 years, obviously, SharePoint and other areas came on top of this. So while we maintained our status as a provider mainly to small and medium government entities, we are seeing now more and more interest from entities in the 250 to 300 user area. And there again, our business partners are crucial in providing those leads, helping with the implementation, doing the installation, and essentially are selling the product while we are providing all the functionality and technology to our partners. Why we are successful specifically in the records management area is because we make it simple. And that's the most important part. You can use ELO as a normal user for records management, and you just think it is a normal file system. You just do file save as, and the documents go in there, or the records. And at the end of the day, everything else is inherited from the file, from the location where the document is being put in. Let's come to you. We have this webinar because we have seen over specifically the last 9 months that there was a huge increase in requests from IT companies, from ERP system integrators, from cloud providers, you name it, to have a product that really creates loyalty and a continued income capabilities for their customer, for themselves, and therefore, of course, providing their customers with a significantly better way and a long-term view of things. So what we are essentially saying is there are current processes, you analyze them, you put your knowledge into it, and ELO is really just a tool set helping you to create an outcome, and that outcome is better than it was before. And this is how the entire business partnership really works. We see ourselves as your training provider. We see ourselves as a system developer. But at the end of the day, it is your customer and your customer only. We are separating into two business partner types. One is a reseller, and the other is a certified business partner. I will make this PowerPoint presentation available to everybody after the event. Indeed, I will send it out because the handouts you've already seen, but this one really comes out as an email directly from me. So resellers, essentially what they're doing, and I think the biggest difference between a reseller and a certified partner is you sell, we deliver. Our resellers usually do not have the capabilities or don't want to invest into the capabilities to do all the installations and everything themselves. So therefore, we are doing the professional services. Still, the reseller will own the customer. We will really only be the people who put this in. We give them standard demo environments. We support, of course. We still have standard pricing, so we don't really have project pricing there. And the margins are a little bit lower than when you are a certified business partner. The reason for that is really that a certified business partner shows an investment into this partnership. What that means is you will be able to sell and you will be able to deliver. Our role in here, specifically at the beginning, is to help you to become profitable with the ELO system at your customer's end. You will have a dedicated demo environment. You will have access to the partner portal in Australia and the global partner portal. Specifically, the global partner portal is important because there is where you can as well self-certify if they come in extra modules or something like this. So we are using on the global partner portal the ELO module e-learning. So e-learning is really part and parcel of the system. So you can certify yourself. Couple of things you need to do really. Yeah, so we will give you marketing material, we give you marketing and sales courses and all these things. But most importantly, your staff, whoever it is, needs to actually pass the certification courses. It is not very difficult for smart people, but we have to, as well, from a liability perspective, ensure that your staff has the capability to actually do it. We give you pre-sale support. We help you on roadshows, exhibitions, and all these things. So a normal standard channel business with a really 100% dedication of our business partner team. Software margins we'll talk about later. Here's a screenshot of the global partner portal, and there you can already see you will have access to your own account, the product of marketing, sales support. You have access to the support web community where you can learn from international business partners. You can learn from Australian business partners. You can place questions there without the necessity always to go to a specific ELO support, because it may well be that the answer actually is coming from a different business partner in a completely different country. Now, this all does not come for free, because we want as well something from you. ELO needs to be on a reseller side, needs to be part of the website. It may just be listed as a product they're selling, but we have to be on the website. We need a good level of commitment. Yeah, so in this moment, I would call it like seize the opportunity, whereas certified business partners need to create opportunities. So it's not they business partners, certified partners need to go out and actually creating those opportunities. Certified business partners, our request is to have a dedicated ELO web page, and using what we call a qualified leads register to register with us your leads. The reason why we want that to be registered is simply that we can assure that we, ELO Direct, will never compete with our partners. And of course, you need to have knowledgeable staff. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have 4, 5, 6 staff dedicated to ELO. It is sufficient that when we go through the certification courses, that you will be able to provide the services for your customers. A couple of things we can promise you, and that has been in place since we incorporated in Australia. And I think we take real pride in this one. We have a non-compete clause, very simple. ELO will never knowingly compete with its business partners or resellers. If we know that a business partner is talking to a lead, to a prospect, and that prospect contacts us directly, we will ensure that we will not compete with you. Very straightforward. Of course, there is a monopolistic law which may not necessarily allow us to collude, yet what we are saying is, and we are very open then with the prospect to say, Kefan, you have already, or you are currently already talking to one of our business partners, and ethically we do not want to compete. It has never happened before, and it will not happen in the future. We will not compete with our business partners. From a pricing perspective, yes, we do have a recommended retail price on our software, on our users, on our modules, but at the end of the day, it's a project, and the project will always have ups and downs. So from that perspective, you as a business partner, together with us, will be able to create project pricing for a customer. And that project pricing will always is the wrong word, I guess, we will try to accommodate this. Yeah, so don't give it away for $1, then we will not try to accommodate the project pricing. But of course, customers are usually quite reasonable, and they will understand that you have to be paid, and as well that the support and the people have to be paid, and as well the software. So project pricing will be flexible. We promise you to keep you informed, but we want as well feedback, and your feedback will help us to be better in the future. We promise you profitability, and this is relatively straightforward. We strongly believe that if the customer wins, you will win and we will win. What that means for you, for us, for the customers, we're looking at optimization and not maximization. As I said earlier on some of our special offers, start with a 5-user contract management solution. That allows you to have a foot in the door, make the customer happy, and subsequently you can then upsell, let's say from contract management, you go into visitor management, or you go into accounts payable or something like this. So we're looking at optimization and not short-term maximization. We strive to have as few partners in one area as possible. It doesn't always work, because there may be 2 business partners in the same metropolitan area, but at least they may not be overlapping. So if we would have a business partner, and I know I used the word Civica today already, if we have a partner in Melbourne who is implementing Civica and as well doing ELO, then of course we will not actively looking for another business partner in Melbourne who is doing Civica. Of course, it is results based. We don't give exclusivity because we do not know what our business partners are delivering. But so far, in the last 15 years, business partners who have done well for themselves and we have done well with those partners had essentially a de facto protection of their area. Nonetheless, we really like as well regional and rural partners. There is where we could give a certain exclusivity. So if you are in Wagga, if you are in Beverley or Dundas, somewhere in a rural area of WA, at the end of the day, we will make sure that if you are a business partner there, we will not endeavor to have a second business partner in your area. We will always limit the number of partners in an industry. So if you are a business partner, a systems integrator, or even a software developer for an ERP system or SAP or something like this, we're not going to go out there and trying to have, like Microsoft, 1,000 business partners, salespeople in Australia, sales partners in Australia. If you are an SAP integrator, we only really want a few of you. So we are limiting it as well by industry. If you are a dominant provider of IT services, say for the airline industry, we will not look for too many other partners that are working predominantly in the airline industry. We promise you longevity of partnerships. Every partner so far we have who wanted to stay with us could stay with us. Not everybody wanted to stay with us. Things are changing. The last thing we will absolutely promise you is honesty. We are not good at politics. We call a spade, and we expect our business partners as well to call a spade. If we do something wrong, and we can guarantee you that we will do things wrong, we want your feedback. But as well, we will give feedback. We will have fights, but we will always come up with a better solution for our customers. And therefore, if I say our customers, your customer, and our customers, therefore, the customer is going to be happy. If they're happy, then we can actually do a very, very good job for the next customers. Commercials. I think this is one of the key reasons why all our business partners have a long-term relationship with us. We're providing exceptionally margin. So it starts at 60%. Essentially what we have is we have 3 user types, what we call an active user, a passive user, and a workflow user. Every license starts at least with 60% margin. That means as well that you will be able to negotiate rates with your customers without the need to necessarily forfeit a huge amount of your own margin. 60% is the starting point. And that is if you sell one active user. But if you're selling, for example, 250 active users, that margin actually goes up to, I think, 72%. So from that perspective, there's a huge opportunity for you as a partner to have a good return on investment. Modules are usually around 30%. So contract management, HR personnel file, accounts payable, invoice processing, that's roughly 30% on the margin. Yeah, but then there's always as well the possibility to modify or do project pricing. Where our hands are tied, of course, is when we talk about third-party modules. because there is where we really need to buy some things, and therefore we can't really give you more than the others are giving us. For professional services, we have a fixed rate, so we don't really care how you are selling the services. Obviously, we recommend that you don't sell it under $1,200 because then you're not really in the win area. But at the end of the day, a standard price in Australia for professional services in IT is somewhere between $1,500 and $1,800. So even if we are doing the job for you, it's a fixed rate, and therefore you will be able to have a margin even if we are doing the sales. Of course, we have specials for government, non-for-profit organizations, and education. Simply because we have roughly 40% of our revenue coming from that area. Therefore, the margins that apply, if the software is significantly cheaper, may be the same, but obviously on the dollar value, they will vary. And as I said before, project pricing is available. I think more important for all our business partner is that you're actually dealing with the owner of the Asia Pacific region. What that means, it allows me to provide you different offer capabilities. We have customers, our partners have customers where they had a budget, they need to spend that budget, therefore that's a CapEx. But we see more and more, and specifically in, let's say, managed print service, managed services, cloud, whatever it is, where an OpEx offer is requested, whether that is a subscription for a certain period of time. We have something which is a pool licensing. Pool licensing means that I give you a license and you can sell software as a service. And essentially, you will just be billed on a monthly report. And therefore, you will only have to spend or have a cash flow outgoing if you're actually using the software and are selling it. We can do subscription where we only have the cost per user per month over a period of time based on the software, but we can do as well software and services cost per month per user per user per month. So from that perspective, you always have the possibility to even integrate the ELO offer into your own standard offering. Most importantly on this one really is that we will bill you only if you're going to bill your customer. What does it mean? If you have a managed service agreement with your customer on a monthly fee, it's going to be very, very difficult for you suddenly to ask a customer for $20 or $30 or $50,000 upfront payment. So we're going to essentially allow you to integrate the ELO solution pricing into the way you have previously offered it to your customers. Therefore, as well, it is important for you to be ensured that you don't have a negative cash flow, i.e., we bill you as you are billing your customers. And then, of course, we have special packages, starter package. We have, invoices, scan on demand. You can have the whole thing in the cloud if you want, where if you're a cloud provider, then you don't even need to have an ELO installation on the customer side. You can just provide software as a service through your own offering. And we see that as well, more and more coming, that software as a service is requested by customers. Technical support is one of the key areas, of course, for all our business partners. Our team has multiple levels of support capabilities. They're all here in Australia, and I think that's the most important part for all of us. We provide service level agreements to our partners as well as to the customers. Our support office hours are starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. They go until 5 p.m. Western Time. So that means as well that in 99 out of 100 cases, the support is here when you need it. As a certified business partner, you will have most likely contracts with your customers to provide support. Our aim, of course, is in the long term to provide you with second level support, and you can provide the first level support to your customers. We help you so that you can help them. Commonly used, of course, we use Jira based ticketing system through myelo.com.au, and those tickets are assigned daily. So what you see in that little screenshot there is the landing page on myelo.com.au, and this way you log on, and this way you can find all the information. This is as well where we are communicating with you with specific tickets. We have established support processes, and I give you an example. If an issue occurs, we investigate for 30 minutes. If we cannot find what it is, we will let you know whether it's a customer, because it could be the customer has done something wrong. And so we had one case, for example, where one of our customers administrator changed the password of the SQL database. That is not our thing to fix. So we investigate for 30 minutes. If we cannot find it, whether it's an ELO bug or whether it is a environmental influence, we will stop, we will let you know what we have found, and then together we are deciding whether we proceed or not. So we need those 30 minutes to review the cause of the issue. As a certified business partner, you will have again as well dedicated support for your own environment for up to 24 hours per year free of charge. That is for you. That is not for your customers. That is, we help you to maintain your own system. And then, of course, we have regular support training. So that's the overview of what we can offer to you. And if you do not mind, we're now going into a Q&A session. So thank you very much for everybody to attend. I would send to all the attendees, obviously, the link for the recording, so that if you want to fall asleep at night, you can watch it again. Okay, thank you very much and have a lovely day. Cheers, bye.